Hi, everybody. First off, excuse the very informal clothing. Just happened to not have dressed up today, so hey, I'm a real person, just like all of you. So, two things I want to talk about as we move into week 4. First off, a little more guidance on writing your teaching philosophy, the first draft of it at least. As well, I want to talk about how we're kind of doing a little shift and in our focus, and we'll talk about what we're doing this week and then the next few weeks moving forward. So first off, let's talk about your teaching philosophy. A few different things. One of the biggest things I want to emphasize as you write this is not a statement of what you do in a classroom. It's not what it looks like for a student sitting and learning from you or learning with you. Rather, your philosophy is a statement of what you believe and why you believe it. So, there's some good examples that are posted in class. Hopefully you already saw those. Those are in the week 3 module. If not, please go back and look at those. But really focus on those fundamentals of what you believe, why you believe it, who you are, and who you want to be as an adult educator. So not kind of the methods or the things like that. Philosophy should be pretty short. I'm not going to, dock you if you're a little bit over this, but really it's a statement. It's not an all-encompassing, here's everything I do and am, but it's a statement. And so 1 to 2 double-spaced pages is really what you need to be aiming for with these. As well, these philosophies need to incorporate some of the ideas that we've been learning over the past few weeks. I realize that we've only been in class for a few weeks, so there's not a ton you're going to be able to put in there. But do what you can. And then as this philosophy develops, as you continue to write it over the course of the semester, you'll be putting more of those sort of fundamental concepts, ideas, themes, philosophies into your written statement. So with that, I look forward to reading what you all put together for this first piece. Reach out to me as you're working on this. I'm always, this isn't a test. Can you do it right without asking me anything? Ask me questions. I'm happy to help you out as you progress with this piece. Okay, so let's look forward now. So for the first few weeks of the semester, obviously, we've really been kind of introspective, right? Looking at who you are, why you are as an adult educator. Excuse me. We are now going to be moving into a kind of a different phase of this class, looking more at what are the big things that you need to do to put together in order to really successfully facilitate learning for the folks that you're working with and for the adults that you're teaching. So to that end, the first thing we're going to focus on is pretty fundamental to everything, and that is writing good learning objectives. I know a lot of you have probably said, yeah, I've done that. I can write a learning objective. I've got it, which is awesome. You may certainly be there. There's some of you who may not have done it. There's some of you who may have thought about it and done a little bit of it. But we are really going to work hard on understanding what needs to be included in a really solid learning objective. And you may not see it this week, but as we progress in coming weeks, you're going to understand why having that solid learning objective is absolutely the key, is the foundation to everything else you're going to do as you think about how to facilitate learning. So that's why we're going to really kind of hammer home that concept. That's a concept you'll see repeated throughout our rehearsal exercises as the semester progresses as well. So you'll get a lot of exercise and a lot of practice at writing good learning objectives. So that's one of the main things that we're working on this week. The other thing that we're going to be working on this week is not necessarily tied to learning objectives, but it's pretty fundamental, I think, to everything else that you do as a facilitator. That's why we're introducing it early on. And that's the concept of making your materials accessible for all learners. So that essentially means that anybody with any sort of needs to interact with material in a different way, that you are creating it, that you're providing it in a way that is manageable for them. So that's everything from a learner who may have a vision or a hearing impairment or some sort of other dyslexia or some other sort of learning impairment. You are creating materials in a way that they can access them the same as anybody else could. So that is the second thing we'll be working on this week. I'm pretty passionate about it, and so I'm excited to be able to do that work with you on learning accessibility. Just a note, this is written in the syllabus, and I'll be reminding you of this, but you will be taking one of your, or a piece of one of your existing assignments this semester, and you'll be creating it to be accessible. So maybe it'll be your teaching philosophy written in a Word document, and you'll make sure that that Word document is accessible. Maybe you will create a video for your team learning assignment, and you'll make sure that there's closed captions and a transcript for that video. Maybe you'll create a website for your toolkit, and you'll make sure that the color contrast is correct on that website. There's a lot of different things you can do. Don't worry about it too much right now, but do realize that that is something you'll need to be doing, and keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, folks, excited for our next week of class? Everything has been going just fantastic so far. I hope you feel the same way. If you don't, you know you can reach out to me at any time. Let's have a conversation. Let's have an email, whatever it may be, so I can support you to make this a great learning experience.